You ever noticed how some people walk into a crowded mall and their whole body says, nope? Not dislike, not boredom. It's like their brain hits an emergency button. And what's wild is, it's not always social anxiety. Sometimes the person who hates crowds is confident, smart, even charismatic. They can talk to anyone. They just can't breathe when too many humans are too close. So what's really going on? Here's the psychology of people who hate crowded places. 1. Their nervous system treats crowds like danger. Some brains don't experience a crowd as people. They experience it as pressure. Too many voices, too many footsteps, too many unpredictable micro-movements. And the body reads unpredictability as risk. Psychologically, this links to threat sensitivity and how easily your amygdala, your alarm system, gets activated. If your brain is the kind that constantly scans for what could go wrong, crowds are a buffet of possibilities. You don't even have to be scared of people. You just might be scared of not being able to control what happens next. That's why in crowded places, these people often stand near exits, or they keep checking where the open space is, or they feel calmer the moment they step outside, even if nothing bad happened, because the relief isn't social, it's biological. 2. They have low tolerance for sensory overload. A crowded place isn't just crowded. It's loud lights, loud smells, loud visuals, music playing, phones ringing, perfume, sweat, food, cleaning chemicals, bright signs, moving screens. Some people's brains filter all that automatically, others don't. This is tied to sensory processing sensitivity, a trait where your nervous system takes in more information and processes it deeper. So what looks normal to others feels like your brain has 37 tabs open and none of them are loading. And here's the part people don't see. They're not being dramatic. They're not trying to be special. Their mind is working overtime just to stay calm. That's why after being in crowds, they don't just feel tired, they feel depleted, like their battery got drained by the environment itself. 3. They don't fear judgment, they hate being observed. A crowd is 1,000 tiny mirrors. Even if no one is staring, your brain can still feel watched. Not because you're insecure, but because crowds reduce your sense of privacy. And humans act differently when they feel observed. Psychologists call it the spotlight effect. We overestimate how much people notice us. But for crowd haters, it's not just a thought, it's a sensation. They become hyper-aware of their body, their face, their hands, their walking speed, where to look, how long to stand still without looking weird. It's like their brain switches into performance mode. And performance mode is exhausting. That's why some people can handle one-on-one conversations easily, but hate crowded stores. Because in a conversation, you're choosing interaction. In a crowd, you're forced into visibility. 4. Their boundaries feel invaded, even without contact. Some people need more psychological space, not because they're cold, not because they're rude, but because closeness for them equals intrusion. Crowds break invisible rules. Your bubble gets popped, your movement gets restricted, your choices shrink, and when choices shrink, stress rises. This connects to autonomy, a core emotional need. When you can't control your pace, your direction, or your personal distance, your brain interprets it as loss of agency. And the most interesting part, some people learned this early. If you grew up in a household where you had little privacy, little control, or constantly had to adjust to others, you may grow up craving space like oxygen. So a crowd doesn't just feel crowded, it feels like being trapped inside other people's expectations. 5. They're not autosocial, they're energy aware. A lot of people assume crowd haters don't like people, but many of them actually love people. They just love people in smaller doses, because social energy isn't infinite. In personality psychology, introversion isn't shyness, it's how you recharge. Extroverts often gain energy from stimulation.
Introverts often lose energy from too much stimulation, even fun stimulation. So a party can be amazing for 20 minutes. Then the brain starts begging for silence. And crowded places have a special kind of social pressure. They force constant micro-interactions, moving aside, apologizing, dodging, negotiating space, reading faces, predicting movement. That's emotional labor on autopilot. So when someone says, "I just hate crowded places," what they might mean is, "My brain is doing 1,000 calculations per minute and I want it to stop." Now, here's the most important thing to understand. People who hate crowds aren't weak, they're not broken, and they're not overreacting. Often, they're highly perceptive, highly self-aware, and their nervous system is simply tuned to pick up more. So if you're that person, don't shame yourself for needing space. Learn your patterns. Maybe you do better in the morning than at night. Maybe headphones calm your system. Maybe having an exit plan makes you feel safe. Maybe you don't need to fix yourself. You just need to design your life around how your brain actually works. And if you know someone like this, don't call them dramatic. Don't say it's not that serious. To their nervous system, it is. Because sometimes the loudest battle isn't in the crowd. It's in the mind trying to stay calm inside it. If this video described you a little too accurately, tell me in the comments what crowded place drains you the fastest. And if you want more videos that decode quiet, hidden behaviors like this, you know what to do.